Hi, my name is Denise. In this series of videos, kind of in the next few weeks, I think, I will be sharing with you my progress parts along the way towards creating a collection for the Affordable Art Fair. It's going to be in Brisbane in May. And so far, my theme is surrounded by kind of tea, community connecting around tea, inspired by some photos I saw on an Instagram of a cafe on the Sunshine Coast that I really, really love called the Silva Spoon. So I'm hoping they won't mind, but I've been inspired by some of their images. But yeah, they'll change significantly enough, I think, that in my painting that it won't be kind of copyright issues or something. So anyway, that's what's happening in this video. I've sort of gathered together a bunch of things that I've done so far, and already I went and took a whole diversion just a week later or a few days later after doing this bunch that I'm going to share with you in this video. So I can see that, as usual, I can be all over the place and influenced by what comes through the door. But yeah, I think maybe this week will be a short one because I'm trying to play catch up. I missed last week and I would love to be able to just keep the momentum going. And yeah, I will put some little voiceover bits through the video when um, there's pieces to add in. So thanks for joining me. And I look forward to hearing from you if you are inspired to leave a comment. All right. It is later in the afternoon, and I have decided to come in here and have a bit of a meeting with myself and a sit down. So I thought I will maybe just do a bit on camera with you. What I need to do is work out where to from here, because I actually want to paint a cohesive collection to go to the Affordable Art Fair in Brisbane in a few months' time. And so I got these sketches happening based on some photos that were of an actual tea party happening at the Silva Spoon, which is one of my favourite places to go in my hometown, Sunshine Coast, where I've moved from at the moment. And so there's just a lot of sentimentality going into this, I can tell, by bringing it to my now. And some other things I've been doing a lot of is including little aura. So I can sort of show you, I just made this sketch using some of the elements that are in the tea setting and just sort of playing around with them. And I must admit, I was having a really hard time breaking into a whole sort of new color palette and doing something different. So I photocopied the sketch that was here, glued it in here to leave it as a sketch for myself to be able to see, and then I used watercolor and colored in my sketch. And I wasn't terribly thrilled with how the colors came out, and I knew that could be a thing. Being with watercolor, I wasn't sure what would happen, but it was really great as a stepping stone. I had a great chat with one of my artist close friends, and I needed to find a way to make it safe. Like, I felt so uncomfortable trying a new subject, new method of painting, new color palette, everything new, and a deadline. And so I was actually freaking out. So anyway, that's what I did first. And then I tried it again because I had made a mistake with the photocopier, placing it in the wrong way. And so I just got a piece of it that time, and I tried with a very, maybe sort of like monochromatic palette, I guess you'd say. And I used paint instead of watercolor that time. And I was kind of found that really interesting. And then I had this one half done, and it was a lot brighter colours. And I was sort of getting a little bit excited about this colour palette and thought, all right, let me change all of that. Not sure if I took a before photo, that would have been helpful, but I don't know that I did. But this one is very much being inspired by this. So in the original picture, the teapots and high tea platters and cups and saucers and stuff were pale blue and pale pink. So, and I was really amazed at how, when my first pass at the pale blue was like the colour of my nail polish, and it didn't look pale at all when it dried. And so I made it even more pale, and same with the pink. And so I really was starting to get quite happy with those two shades. But that design has sort of come from here. What else? What next? And so I've just been finding my way towards creating the larger pieces. They're not going to be that big. They're only going to be a sort of medium-sized paintings, but I am thinking that I will do them in pairs so that if somebody wanted a diptych, they would be able to. So that's what I'm thinking of for the finished pieces. But these are all ways that I am getting ready to be ready to make the paintings, which I normally would just be messing up the background and see what happens. Like, that's how that sort of work happens. But I'm really trying something new here. This is some other work that I've had that's it was on my mind as well. And so the whole tea thing is really the tea party, having company for a cup of tea is really the theme I think I'm going to just stick with. This is another piece that I was just sort of playing around with. I sometimes work on these little bits of wood just for the fun of, I like working on wood, and these are kind of just playboards in a way. And this has gone through so many changes, but now what I feel like I might do next is change this to go with this, so that I just keep making the collection and weaving in and working out my color palette by redoing it and just adjusting it a bit, because I'd already started to be spending some time with this one and it's been annoying me, so I put it aside because I think the table was taking me in this direction, in the new direction that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I've been really pursuing and wanting to do a loose still life type painting, and I want them to be loose. I want to be a bit wonky and quirky and things like that, so I'm wanting to go in that direction. And this is the way that I would always used to paint, was I would create backgrounds and then come in and find things and leave bits behind. And so what I noticed was I had the table going in this direction, but this is in a whole other direction. And I feel as though the two are they're not talking to each other very well. I don't think that works with this. It's almost like this is like it's got an old-fashioned cottage, homey type vibe, and this is going a bit modern, and I don't know. So it's just interesting to observe and see, all right, well, what's going to stay? Do I change this or do I change this, you know? And you know, these are just like ways to practice, and you could do it just on a piece of paper, but for some reason I really love to do it on wood. But then today this morning did this one, and so I did an undercoat first of this kind of pale buttery color, and then loosely drew or painted in the images with a raw sienna, which has come out a lot darker than I wanted. So I'm curious about that the Liquitex Basic Raw Sienna is to me a lot darker than Golden Fluid Raw Sienna. So I'm going to just try a different color, I think, next time. So I'm wanting to encourage myself to do more pieces on paper, which is very unlike me. Instead of going straight to the finished boards, I'm trying to discipline myself to do a bunch on paper. So then I'm working out the glitches on paper first, and then I hope to just go full steam ahead and create the series of paintings on wood. I've also sort of got a few little drawings that I've been making, which I quite love, because I also want to include flowers. So not just the tea things, but also the flowers. I really want to bring flowers in. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because I'm a bit excited, and it's taken a real lot to get me over the hump of trying this. Oh, I don't think I showed you this one. And so this is directly inspired by this. I think I did this first. I can't remember. And so this one I have just been playing with this afternoon, and it's looking a little bit neat. And one of the reasons is it's come from a fine black line drawing. You can see the fine black line. I drew the things in with that first, and so that one is looking quite tidy, and so I want to make some significant changes to this one. Even though it's tiny, it's again helping me visualize what a larger pieces could then be blown up to look like. But there's something about these little paintings that Aura, being a really little dog, just pops into perfectly. It makes me really happy. So I'm not entirely convinced about this one's color palette, because they're and I'm really trying to do quite a lot of lights. So the colors are really challenging me.